Quiz Bowl playoffs. High Quiz, the varsity sport of the mind, pitting the sharpest minds of area high schools in head-to-head competition. WKBT's High Quiz Bowl is brought to you by Viterbo College, one of Wisconsin's finest independent colleges, and by Wholesome Bread, baked by Erickson Bakeries. And now the High Quiz Bowl playoffs with host and moderator Terry Wirkus.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome as I go off the screen. That's a good way to start out tonight's game, because tonight is the final game before the Super Bowl of High Quiz Bowl. We know Hillsborough will be in that game. Tonight we're going to decide whether Osseo-Fairchild or Logan will be in that game. I want to mention to you before we go any further, our two fine sponsors of the High Quiz Bowl who have been with us all year long and helped financially to make this whole thing click. Viterbo College, with grant support from Central Wisconsin Bank Shares, and our fine friends over at Erickson Bakeries who bake that delicious, wholesome bread. Let's meet our two fine teams tonight. First, our squad from Osseo-Fairchild.
Chris Nelson, senior.
Steve Smith, senior.
Lon Olson, senior.
Brett Jensen, junior.
Osseo-Fairchild's alternate, Eric Dimmitt, and their coach, James Rapp. And now our squad from Logan.
Mark Glasser, senior.
Kathy Mowbray, junior.
Jason Cleveland, senior.
Steve Duffrin, sophomore.
And Logan's alternate, Jeanette Miller, and their coach, Diane Gebhardt. And now, the one, the only, we call him the Wojo with the mojo, Wade Wojowski.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Wade. I understand you're going to be with us next week, too, for the final game this year. So
right.
I will not give you all of these glowing attributes that I was going to give you tonight and give you your laurel wreath, which I have behind my desk here. We'll save that for next week. We're glad to have you with us tonight. It's going to be a good game. Two fine teams.
Sure.
Seems like we've seen Osseo-Fairchild more times than any other team in the high school this year. They've been here 5 times?
I think that's it.
5 times?
Great.
We'll see if they're going to be here for a 6th. Logan may have something to say about that, though. Let's find out about tonight's game, how it's going to turn out, who is going to play Hillsborough right after this break.
In Denmark, there is something so pure, so genuine, so much like the land it comes from. It's simply called Danish. At Eggevist, for more than 80 years, we haven't forgotten. Danish is what we are, and Danish is what we make. Eggevist.
It was lonely when he first went for school. You wonder what he's doing, you know, if he's eating like he's supposed to be eating. I felt pretty secure in knowing that he would be well taken care of at Viterbo. I think that's one of the pluses for Viterbo is their smallness. The first name basis, the homey atmosphere. As a mother, it makes you feel at ease. You miss him. But on the other hand, you know that he's well taken care of.
Our requested authority, College Bowl Incorporated. The decision of Judge Wayne Wojciechowski will be final. Let's get right into tonight's game with our first 10-point toss-up. Teams, if you kiss it, it's said to improve your Dufferin Logan.
Barney Stone.
You've got it for 10 points. Mr. Cleveland, we have 5 bonus categories tonight to choose from: authors, history, music, U.S. presidents, and miscellaneous. Now, what you want to start out with tonight?
How about music?
This question is worth 20 points, Logan. There's the Tennessee Waltz, and the Missouri Waltz, and the Pennsylvania Polka. For 5 points each, what state name completes these song titles? The Yellow Rose of...
Texas.
North to...
Alaska.
That's right, the old Johnny Horton tune. How about Blue... Blue Hawaii, and Sweet Home...
Alabama.
Leonard Skinner would be proud. That's right, for 15 points. Teams, a 10-point toss-up. One compound has a greater ability than any other substance to dissolve other substances. Jensen, Osseo-Fairchild.
Water.
You've got it for 10 points, and we'll give you that same bonus category choice, Mr. Smith.
Music, please.
This question is worth another 20 points. You all know that Ringo Starr is associated with the drums. Well, for 10 points each, Osseo-Fairchild, identify the instruments of these musical stars. Benny Goodman.
Clarinet.
And Julian Bream.
Saxophone.
No, he was a guitar player, or he played the lute as well. 10 points in that bonus. Teams, the American Civil War could be said to have been triggered by Beauregard's men firing upon Fort Sumter. Another major conflict was literally triggered by Gavrilo Princip. He was a member of a Serbian nationalist secret society, also Osseo-Fairchild.
World War I.
That's correct.
U.S. presidents, please.
This question is worth 25 points, Osseo-Fairchild. Abraham Lincoln was the Union president during the Civil War. Under which American president was the Mexican-American War declared?
Andrew Jackson.
No, that was James K. Polk. Polk. Teams, his real name was John Clayton. He was the son of a British nobleman, and he was deserted in infancy. Also Osseo-Fairchild.
Tarzan of the Apes.
That's right, for 10 points and another bonus.
Music.
Question's worth 20 points again. Major General Stanley is, in fact, the very model of a modern Major General, at least according to Major General Stanley. He's featured in a famous Gilbert and Sullivan operetta. For 20 points, which one?
Pirates of Penzance.
That's correct. The Antilles are the islands, including the Bahamas, that stretch from Florida to Venezuela. For 10 points, teams, what is their more common collective name? Nelson, Osseo-Fairchild.
The Bahamas.
Logan. Mowbray.
The Bermuda Triangle.
No, the West Indies. 2 letters of the alphabet, teams, are used to designate the chromosomes that determine Duffer and Logan.
X and Y.
Correct.
Take music.
This question is worth 30 points, Logan. Shakespeare's works have been a constant inspiration to composers of classical music. I will name a composition his works inspired, then you identify the composer. 15 points for each right answer. The Romeo and Juliet Fantasy Overture.
Tchaikovsky.
The opera Macbeth.
Handel.
Well, that was Verdi. For 10 points, teams, in a Tennyson poem, what Arthurian hero declares, my strength is as the 10th, pardon me, let me repeat that. My strength is as the strength of 10, because my heart is pure. Sir Galahad. Considered by many to be the greatest woman athlete of all time, teams. Olsen, Osseo-Fairchild.
Babe Didrikson.
Correct.
Music, please.
It's a 30-point question, and it completes the category. For 10 points apiece, Osseo-Fairchild, identify the artists who sang these popular songs. Rocky Mountain High.
John Denver.
She's a Lady.
Kenny Rogers.
No, either John Sebastian or Tom Jones also sang a version of that song. How about this song? I Can See Clearly Now.
Diana Ross.
No, that was Johnny Nash. Karl Marx and Joseph Engels wrote about capital in Das Kapital. For 10 points, teams, who wrote about it in The Wealth of Nations? Cleveland Logan.
Adam Smith.
Correct for 10 points, and we'll give you a bonus.
We'll take authors.
And it's a 30-point question. If you can identify this famous 20th century author after one clue, we'll give you all 30 points, 20 points after the second, or 10 points after the third clue. You have one answer after each clue. First clue. His first published work was a book of poems entitled The Marble Faun.
T.S. Eliot.
No. His first published novel was Soldier's Pay. His second was Mosquitoes. His third was Sartoris.
Hemingway.
No. With the publication of Sartoris or Sartoris, he began creating the mythical county named Yaknapatawpha, in which his greatest novels were set.
Faulkner.
Correct for 10 points. Teams, the medulla oblongata, the medulla oblongata contains the cardiac and respiratory centers of the brain. For 10 points, what part of the brain coordinates control of movement? Dufferin, Logan.
Cerebrum.
No. Osseo-Fairchild, Nelson.
Cerebellum.
Correct for 10 points and a bonus.
U.S. presidents, please.
This question is worth 25 points. Nancy is the most recent addition to the list of presidents' wives. For 5 points apiece, Osseo-Fairchild, and a 5-point bonus if we get all 4, what were the first names of these other first ladies? Mrs. George Washington.
Martha.
Mrs. John Adams.
Abigail.
Mrs. James Madison.
Dolly.
Mrs. Harry Truman.
Bess.
25 points. Teams, you associate Ringo Starr and Ginger Baker with the drums. For 10 points, with what instrument do you associate Eric Clapton? Nelson, Osseo-Fairchild.
Guitar.
Correct for 10 points and another bonus.
History, please.
This question is worth 20 points, Osseo-Fairchild. In history, the important questions are who, what, where, and when. Now, in this question, we'll concentrate on the wheres in American history. 5 points each, or 20 for all three. In what state did jayhawkers use Beecher's Bibles to shoot border ruffians?
Missouri.
No, that was Kansas. The natives of Kansas were called jayhawkers. Second, where did Aaron Burr kill Alexander Hamilton in a dueling encounter?
New Hampshire.
No, that was New Jersey. And the third part of the question, near what city was gold discovered at Sutter's Mill, precipitating the '49 gold rush?
Sacramento.
Correct for 5 points. Zechariah, Habakkuk, Nahum, Jeremiah, Nelson, Osseo-Fairchild.
Books of the Bible.
Logan, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah. For 10 points, what religious role was filled by each of them? Mowbray.
They were prophets.
They were prophets is correct.
Like authors again?
This question is worth 25 points, Logan. He wrote a book about a man who had vivid, exciting fantasies, drew cartoons for the New Yorker, composed fairy tales for adults, and wrote such classic short stories as The Night This Ghost Got On and The Day This Dam Broke. For 25 points, name him.
Thurber?
Correct. That buzzer means we've reached halftime of tonight's game. We'll be back to check on our scores and meet our teams right after this break.
Discover the wonder. Imagine the possibilities. The arts, the turbo, and you.
Good morning, good neighbor. For freshness and flavor, you have a good neighbor.
When it comes to freshness and flavor, choose your Good Neighbor bakers, the Good Night Bakers of Wholesome.
Wholesome's flavor secret is quality in everything. The yeast, flour, everything. No Wholesome family's more than a few hours from our ovens. We deliver freshness. Wholesome's wrapped oven fresh just before dawn. Good morning. I know it's good because I eat it. And I know why it's good because we bake it.
Get your jammies on and I'll be out to kiss you goodnight.
Kids. Some days you love them and others, well, this was a good day. So I took them to Wendy's for their favorite treat. And with the special prize, I got a treat too.
The special treat, Wendy's Kids Meal, now only 99 cents. A special hamburger, golden fries, and their choice of delicious Frosty or soft drink, all in a special box with a prize, and now only 99 cents.
Thanks, Wendy's.
Wendy's Kids Meal, a special treat at a special price.
Talk with you more after the game. Okay. Let's come over here now and meet our teams. First team we've saw last week from Osseo-Fairchild. And tonight, Mr. Nelson's going to tell us about the team.
You bet.
And about the school. Go ahead.
Osseo-Fairchild is located about 20 miles south of Eau Claire. This year at OF, students were exposed to many cultural experiences. Osseo-Fairchild put on a dinner theater presentation of Heidi. German students also went to Germany, and this week a group of students just came back from Washington, D.C. We'd like to thank Viterbo College, Erickson Bakeries, and our parents for having us.
Okay. Great. And that was all ad-lib, too. I'm impressed.
Not really.
Well, yeah, a couple of notes. We all have to have a couple of notes. Thanks a lot for coming by, folks. Glad to have you with us, and good luck in the second half. And now our squad from La Crosse, Logan, haven't seen you folks since, what, December sometime, I guess. Miss Mowbray, do you have a bit to tell us about your school tonight?
Certainly. Logan High School is the newest school in the La Crosse School District. It houses 1,060 students, as well as 75 faculty members. Curriculum offerings include courses in accelerated chemistry and physics for the college-bound, in addition to a comprehensive vocational program. Our extracurricular program balances athletics with aesthetics. Our girls' and boys' athletic teams are well known for their competitive attitude. Our marching band has grown to 140 members and has won numerous awards. The highlight of our vocal music program is our swing choir, the Class Act, well known not only in the community but statewide. Other activities include the all-school musical, drama, forensics, mock trial, and academic decathlon, among others. A fine facility, a great faculty, and an enthusiastic student body make Logan a great place to be.
Thanks a lot, Miss Mowbray. Very nice job. And glad to have Logan with us tonight, and best of luck to you in the second half. We'll be back with that second half of tonight's exciting game right after this break.
When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying natural goodness. When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying quality ingredients because Country Hearth Bread has no artificial preservatives. When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying nutrition to grow on. Your whole family will love the soft-textured quality of Country Hearth Bread.
Nature's gift of goodness, Country Hearth Bread.
Meet the family of Central Wisconsin Bank Shares, a growing network of community banks that have joined together to provide the resources and capabilities of large metropolitan banks. Central Wisconsin Bank Shares has found a better way to provide worthwhile financial services, and they're proud to sponsor one of today's most worthwhile television programs, the Viterbo High Quiz Bowl.
To meet your banking needs, see the Central Wisconsin Bank Share affiliate nearest you.
The tension is mounting. Who will play Hillsborough in the Super Bowl of High Quiz Bowls coming up next week? Will it be La Crosse Logan? Will it be Osseo-Fairchild? Well, this half will determine who it is. The next time you hear that buzzer go off, the game will be history. Very important half. The score is tight. Let's get right to it, teams. Our first 10-point toss-up. Pencil and paper ready. On a map drawn to a scale of 1/2 inch equals 200 miles. For 10 points, what is the distance in miles between two cities which are 3 1/2 inches apart? Cleveland, Logan.
700 miles?
No. Please clear Mr. Cleveland's light for us upstairs, and we'll give Osseo-Fairchild an opportunity. We still have to wait there. The light's clear. Mr. Nelson, give us your response, please.
1,400 miles.
That is correct. For 10 points, and we'll give Osseo-Fairchild a bonus as we work on clearing the light. Mr. Smith?
U.S. presidents, please.
U.S. presidents is a 20-point question. Most presidents manage to stir up a fair amount of ill feeling during their administration. But one president's administration is known as the era of good feeling. For 20 points, who was he?
Truman?
No, James Monroe. Teams, the late, great Walt Disney created, of course, Mickey Mouse. For 10 points, what lovable cartoon bird did Walter Lantz create? Olson, Osseo-Fairchild.
Woody Woodpecker.
That is right, for 10 points and another bonus.
U.S. presidents again, please.
It's a 20-point question. The quotation comes from a speech made by the 16th President of the United States. To this place and to the kindness of these people, I owe everything. Here I have lived a quarter of a century and have passed from a young man to an old man. For 20 points. Name the city referred to in that quotation.
Springfield, Illinois.
That is correct, the home of Abraham Lincoln. The name of one of America's leading fashion magazines, first published in 1892, teams. Smith, Osseo-Fairchild.
Vogue.
Correct.
Miscellaneous, please.
It's a 30-point question. To earn a Purple Heart, you've got to do it the hard way. For 15 points apiece. Who initiated the award?
George Washington.
Who reissued it?
Abraham Lincoln.
No, that was Douglas MacArthur, so 15 points. Teams, an aerodynamic term named for an Austrian physicist is the number which represents the ratio of the speed of a body to the speed of sound in the surrounding atmosphere. Cleveland, Logan.
Mach.
Correct, for 10 points and a bonus.
We'll take authors.
This question is worth 30 points. This 19th century English jurist, Logan, worked ardently to improve the conditions of the poor, but is better remembered for his creation of the hero Tom Brown in Tom Brown's School Days and Tom Brown at Oxford. For 30 points, name the author. Thomas Hughes. For a quick 10 points, teams, with what musical activity do you associate Luciano Pavarotti, Olson, Osseo-Fairchild?
Singing.
That's not specific enough. Logan. Luciano Pavarotti, Leontine Price, and Placido Domingo. Mowbray.
Opera.
Correct, for 10 points and another bonus.
We'll go miscellaneous.
Its question this time is worth 20 points. Their designs are nearly identical, but their colors are quite different. For 5 points of color, name the 2 colors featured in the flags of first Denmark.
Blue and white?
No, that's red and white. How about the color of Sweden's flag?
Blue and white?
That would be blue and yellow. Teams, this American president was the greatest popular hero of his time, serving from 1829 to 1837. Duffer and Logan.
Jackson?
Correct.
I'll take miscellaneous again.
This is a 25-point question, Logan. You've got a 50-50 chance of being right on each part of this bonus, so you'll have to get 2 correct for 5 points, 3 correct for 15 points, or all 4 correct for 25 points. Which is wider at its widest point, North or South America?
North?
Correct. Is a sunspot hotter or cooler than the surrounding sun?
Cooler.
Correct. In the Kentucky Derby, do the horses run clockwise or counterclockwise?
Counter?
That is correct. And is it baking powder or baking soda which causes a cake to rise?
Soda.
No, it's powder. So you've got 3 right, 15 points. Teams, 1 flew east, 1 flew west. Smith, Osseo-Fairchild.
1 flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Correct for 10 points and another bonus.
Miscellaneous, please.
It's a 20-point question, Osseo-Fairchild. 3 major units of measurement for pressure are the pascal, the atmosphere, and the millimeter of mercury. For 5 points each, or 20 points for all 3, list these units from smallest to largest.
The millimeter of mercury, the atmosphere, the barometric pressure.
No, that's not correct. Pascal, atmosphere, millimeter of mercury. Teams, this device might be ranked in importance with the development of speech and the discovery of fire. It was to be the principal weapon in Europe to the end of the Middle Ages. For 10 points, Cleveland.
Catapult?
Logan. No. For 10 points, Osseo-Fairchild. What was this device so successfully used by Robin Hood and William Tell? Jensen.
The longbow?
No, we will not accept that. The bow and arrow is what we needed to have. Teams, with one exception, any type of bill may be introduced by any member of Congress. For 5 points, Duffer and Logan.
Tax bill.
That is correct, for 10 points, and we'll give you a bonus.
We'll go authors.
This question is worth 30 points, Logan. This Russian poet and novelist was awarded the 1958 Nobel Prize, but was forced by Soviet pressure to refuse. For 15 points apiece, name the author and his most acclaimed work.
Solzhenitsyn. The Gulag Archipelago.
No, Dr. Zhivago, written by Boris Pasternak. This is a 10-point toss-up. This author, afflicted in his childhood with a stammer, later became a British spy during World War I. He's the author of The Razor's Edge. Duffer and Logan.
Stevenson.
No, he is the author of The Razor's Edge, Osseo-Fairchild, and of Human Bondage. For 10 points, name him. Jensen.
LeCaire.
No, Mom. Based upon an earlier work by Thomas Jefferson, teams, one of the best-known books in American political procedure was published in 1876 by General Henry Martin Robert. Cleveland, Logan.
Robert's Rules of Order.
Correct for 10 points.
Authors.
Authors is a question worth 20 points. In 1839, the schooner Hesperus sank off the coast of Gloucester, inspiring this poet to write The Wreck of Hesperus. His other works include Song of Hiawatha and Evangeline. For 20 points, what poet?
Longfellow.
Correct for 20 points. A Shiver Minor, teams, during the Roaring Twenties, he was president of the U.S. For 10 points, name him. Olson, Osseo-Fairchild.
Coolidge.
Correct for 10.
Miscellaneous, please.
This is the last category, question in the category. It's worth 20 points. Taking its name from the Chinese mountain where it was first mined, it is a white clay-like mass of hydrous aluminum silicate from which porcelain is made. For 20 points, name this useful material.
Clay.
No, kaolin. Teams, the reputation of this Southern writer rests primarily on 3 novels which deal with the rural South. Trouble in July, God's Little Acre, and Tobacco Road. For 10 points, name him. Olson, Osseo-Fairchild.
Faulkner.
No, Logan. Caldwell. For over 1,000 years, teams, young Greek athletes gathered for the quadrennial. Duffer and Logan.
Olympics.
Can we accept that? His
Summer
answer was
Olympics.
Olympics.
No.
No, we can't.
No.
Osseo-Fairchild. Young Greek athletes gathered for the quadrennial festival of Zeus. Ups, that buzzer means our game is history. We'll be back to see who will play Hillsboro in the big Super Bowl High Quiz Bowl next week, right after this break.
It's got to be the most exciting sport that you can ever imagine from a biased point of English view, I suppose, but it's a sport that involves everybody. It's just that atmosphere that a small college like this produces, and they're all pulling for each other on each part of the athletic departments. If you're a soccer coach, you pull for the volleyball and vice versa.
It's a family, and it's a good place to work. It's a good place to be.
In Denmark, there is something so pure, so genuine, so much like the land it comes from. It's simply called Danish. At Eggevist, for more than 80 years, we haven't forgotten. Danish is what we are, and Danish is what we make. Eggevist.
Lose.
Right.
But that is life, and what is life telling us tonight?
Well, it's telling us that Osseo-Fairchild had 205 points and La Crosse Logan 185. So
great game.
total.
Now this means that Hillsboro will be playing Osseo-Fairchild, right?
Next week in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Right.
Well, let's award our scholarships first of all to Mr. Cleveland from La Crosse Logan.
Okay. Jason, we have a $300 scholarship for you or for anyone at Logan for the fall 86 semester at Viterbo. Thanks. Congratulations, you're playing an excellent game.
I do.
Okay.
And now Mr. Smith from Osseo-Fairchild.
Steve, it seems like you've been up here a lot. I think this is number 5.
Yep.
And another $500 for someone at Osseo-Fairchild for the fall 86 semester at Viterbo. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Wayne,
Terry,
you're going to stone us all tonight. What is this, huh? A
you like
brick.
that? That's a brick. This is very symbolic. It's symbolic of the past and also the future. And the past, in that this brick is from a house that was demolished this week right across the street from Viterbo. That goes back to 1895. And if you would pass Viterbo, past 9th Street, you would notice the block completely vacant of all houses. And that's why this is also symbolic of the future. Because on this Friday, we will have the official groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the new Student Activity Center at Viterbo College. So
we'll have to keep our eyes open for that.
Absolutely.
Coming in the future.
That's right.
Growth at Viterbo. Next week at High Quiz Bowl, the Super Bowl of High Quiz Bowl. Make sure you do join us, Hillsboro against Osseo-Fairchild. Join us then. Terry Wirkus wishing you yours a good evening and an even better tomorrow.
We hope you've enjoyed this exciting High Quiz Bowl playoff game. High Quiz Bowl is brought to you by Erickson Bakeries and by Viterbo College.